Okay, so we are going to start by reviewing the work we did last time. Last time we discussed on core architectures in Azure, and we saw the various components that are used in Azure, like in security, storage, and other factors. So if you have anything to add on the reviewing part of last time's meeting, you can also say. Yes, and you can also say how your day was, your weekend. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mercy. Yeah, the meeting was nice. It was awesome, and my weekend was amazing.
Okay, that is great. Yeah, for me, my week has been a busy one. Yeah. Okay, let's start. So today we're going to discuss about the management and governance aspect of Azure, and we have cost management under it. So Azure is usually pay as you go. Like once you need you use a resource, you pay for it. So it's not like you pay monthly or something. When you use a resource, you pay for it. So that's called an operational expense, yeah, infrastructure. So yeah. And we also have the Azure Cloud Shell. We're going to check this out in the Azure portal, so don't worry. Yeah, so the Cloud Shell is containing Azure PowerShell and Azure Command Line. So these ones, they are like terminals where you can navigate Azure using them. So maybe you want to add something to your resource, or you want to put up some settings to your resources that you have. So you can use the Cloud Shell to do that. And the command line uses bash commands, and yeah, and the PowerShell uses PowerShell commands. So the only difference is if you want to use PowerShell or if you want to use command line, you'll choose between those two, depending on the language you are comfortable with. So they both do the same things, but if you are best in Bash language, you can use CLI. If you are good in PowerShell, you can use Azure PowerShell. And for management is like for how you manage the resources in Azure. If you want to manage your costs, if you want to manage your resources. So there are certain aspects in management like budget alerts, credit alerts, and quota alerts. So sometimes maybe you want to ensure that you are not passing the budget you have in mind for the resources you're using in Azure. So you're going to use budget alerts for that to set up the settings you need. Maybe you don't want to spend more than $100 in a month, you can set that up. So for budget alerts, it notifies when the usage exceeds amount. That is basically what I've explained in like currently. And for credit alerts, now this one, it alerts you when you reach the limits that you've set. Yes, for quota alerts is more of for departments and organizations. So the emails, once they reach the limits that they had set, the message goes to the organization emails. Yeah. Okay. Oh, so far, does anyone have a question or anything to add on regarding to what we've shared? Okay. So, oh yeah. Also in the group, there was someone who was asking about the command line. I hope you got to understand more on it. Okay. So we can proceed to factors affecting costs in Azure. So last time we went through resource types, we saw the various resources we can use for storage, so that can affect the cost you're using in Azure. So maybe you have a lot of blobs or you have a lot of virtual machines in Azure. That can affect your cost. Like the more resources you use, the more money you will pay for the resources. Consumption, yeah, that is basically what you said. So you use more, you pay more. You use less, you pay less. And maintenance is now the aspect you're using to maintain the resources. Maybe you're using there's Azure, there's an assistant, I don't remember the name in Azure that can regulate the security features you have in your resources. Yeah. So maintenance, you pay for those maintenance resources you're using. And for geography, we have, for geography, they vary depending on the power and taxes in each region. I think the most expensive geographical place is Brazil South. So you can check on that. I think we're going to check on that using a certain tool in Azure. Yeah. And for subscription type, the subscription that you've chosen. So for some of us, we have the student account connected to our Azure portal. So for that, you have been given a credit, $100 for a year. So that is a type of subscription you have. That is a student subscription. But for the normal ones, you have to pay it yourself. So that is also a factor affecting Azure. And network traffic. Network traffic is the data inbounds and outbounds that are used in Azure. So like they will limit it according to the regions. How does this specific region conduct its data transfers in each place? So that is also another factor that affects Azure in cost. So yeah, and the last one is Azure Marketplace. So this is where you can now purchase firewalls, you can purchase softwares that you can use with your resources. So if you purchase any of these tools, you'll have to pay for them too. Yeah, so you can check on that in the portal. Yes. If you have anything to add on, you can also share because I think we went through the challenge for some of us and also the content as we are pricing. Okay, does anyone have anything to say or to ask? You can unmute. Right. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. So I think let me move on. I want to share the links that we can use to estimate costs and total costs of ownership. So cost estimation and the difference between cost estimation and total cost of ownership in Azure is that cost estimation is using a pricing calculator that is online. You just put up the resources that you have in mind that you can use in Azure, and then it will give you an estimate of how much you will require to use the resources. But in total cost of ownership, that one now it takes you to the portal and now accumulates all the resources that you've been using and the pricing that it takes for you to use it. For total cost of ownership, it's going to be beneficial to you, especially if you are a person to attend hackathons. You can put it as a prototype, an idea that uses cloud. You can put up the total cost of ownership. You can say, maybe I will use this and this resource, so it will add up to this. Sometimes hackathons, they can ask such kind of things. And also, if you're a professional, you can add up these resources for reports to financial officers in the organization. So let me share the links that you can use for pricing calculators and total costs of ownership. Okay, so the first link is for the pricing calculator, where we'll put up the resources and the total cost of ownership is the last link. So with these ones, I think allow me some time because Teams is currently loading my other device. Yes, so those links will be beneficial to you when calculating the costs in Azure. Yes, for any resources you want to use. Okay, so we have governance and compliance. Okay, so far, does anyone have a question, something to add, or any comment? So in governance and compliance, we have Microsoft Purview. I guess it's spelled like that. So it's a tool in Microsoft that they basically tell you the solutions they have for risk and compliance and data governance. So it's just like it gives you information of how they manage the compliance issues in Azure and stuff. And we also have Azure Policy, which is a service in Azure that you can create. So this one is like if you want to set a certain policy for your resources or resource groups, so you can add it there in Azure. Maybe you want to have some certain tags in your resources, or maybe you want to have or maybe you want to have certain people managing the resources. So you can use Azure Policy for that. And then we have Service Trust. Service Trust is a portal now where you can implement the processes to protect data and cloud services. So it's basically a different portal from the Azure portal that we have. Okay. And then we have resource logs. So yeah, we're going to see all this in the portal. Resource logs is also in information of our resources. You can find the resource logs under when you create a resource, you'll see under settings and overviews, you'll see resource logs. So resource logs is all about like if you want to present certain users from deleting a resource, or maybe you want to allow specific people to edit the resources you have in your Azure management portal, you can use resource logs for that. It's more of a like a security thing in Azure. We also have the deploying and managing Azure resources. And we have certain tools that we interact with in Azure for that. So we can manage our resources using the Azure portal, the Cloud Shell, which we have spoken about, and PowerShell and the command line interface. So all this, they can be used to manage our resources in Azure and basically just manage our resources, yes. For the resource logs that we have, that we had spoken about, has anyone interacted with it? Have you gotten any issues when using the portal or whatever we are discussing in that you interacted with? So we'll go to the next one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you are asking if anyone has interacted with any of those tools.
Yes.
Or I have interacted with I think all of them via the sandbox though. And also for our students account, I interacted with the Azure portal to create resources.
Okay, that's good.
I've also interacted with Azure portal, and I say it's pretty user friendly.
Oh, all right. That's good. That's good progress. Once you interact with the things we're discussing here, it will be easy for you to like answer questions you're given, or maybe just explain to someone the various aspects in Azure. So, okay, we'll continue. We have Azure Arc and Azure Arm. I don't know if it's ARM or ARM, any of each. So for Azure Arc is an Azure Resource Manager. Now this one, it extends like monitoring your Azure hybrid and multi-cloud configurations. So in the first session, I think Ridge spoke about hybrid and multi-cloud configurations. As you can check out the video in the YouTube playlist, we're going to share the link. And for Azure ARM, or yeah, it's an Azure Resource Manager in full, the ARM basically. So it authenticates requests made. Now, this one uses APIs. APIs, we were discussing about it the last session, and someone asked about REST API. Don't know if someone went to the extent of researching more about it. Yes. So yeah, in ARM templates, deployment code is verified before running. So this basically means that when you deploy code in Azure, before it executes the code, it has to verify the codes that you are using. Is it okay? If it's fine. So these are tools for managing our Azure platform, our Azure resources. So, and then we have Bicep. Bicep is a language that you can use to deploy the Azure resources. So where we can use Bicep, you can use it maybe in the terminals. Maybe you want to configure this resource. You want to give it this and this, maybe a storage resource. You want to allow it to be storing certain things that you're uploading in the cloud. So you can use Bicep to regulate these kinds of activities in the portal. Okay. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Yes. I'm sorry, but could you quickly take us through Azure Arc and Azure Arm again?
Okay, let's go back to slides. So for Azure Arc and Azure Arm, it's basically, these are like tools to manage the resources you have in Azure. Like you can check them out in the portal. You'll see them stated there. So for Azure Arc, it's more of like it checks out your hybrid and multi-cloud configurations, how you've set them, the kind of maybe the policies you've given them. Like it just checks the configurations you have. But for ARM, now this one, it like checks the codes you are using, maybe the APIs you have. It's like a resource manager. So yeah, that's the difference between Arc and ARM. And then Bicep is a totally like different thing. It's a language, but now it is used to deploy the resources, to manage the resources you have in Azure. Is it okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So let's go to monitoring tools. Monitoring tools, these are the ones that we use now to check out the resources we have. Managing is more of like you check out, okay, you set these certain settings for the resources, you do this and that. But now for monitoring, now it checks, okay, we've deployed this, we've set up our resources here, we've put up our website in this certain place in our Azure portal. So the monitoring tools, they now assess, okay, is this resource fine? Are the things that you are uploading okay? Are they in the right state? So the last session we had someone asking on, does Azure have something that can regulate the security we have? Can it suggest some certain things we can do to mitigate the issues we face in security? So the answer is yes. We have Azure Advisor, which can give suggestions not only in security, but also in reliability, performance, and the operations you have, and also on costs. So maybe you are using a lot of costs in Azure or something like that. So the advisor will tell you, you have to like regulate this and that. Once you implement the advisor in the portal, it will do that. So the Azure advisor, you can search it on the portal and you will see this display. That is the display that Azure advisor has. I don't know if it's clear, but yes, that is the interface of the advisor. Okay, and another monitoring tool we have is service health. So now this one tracks the overall health of Azure, like the overall, like now the overall health means that it checks, is your Azure platform okay? Is it okay to upload certain things in your platform? And is it state fine? Yeah, that's the work of the Azure Service Health. And now finally we have the Azure Monitor. This one analyzes the data. It uses log analytics. So anytime you like check into a resource, you create a resource, you delete a resource, you create an account. So it tracks all of that through the logs. And once the data is gathered, it now monitors those certain things that you've done in the platform. Yes, that's it for monitoring. Don't know if anyone has a question or something to add from what you had learned.
Okay, Lilian, I have a question. Can you break down more on the Azure Service Health?
Okay, so for Azure Service Health, under it, okay, we have the components now. There is Azure status. Now this one tells you Azure is good or it's bad for using. Now, like, it just checks the overall status. And now we have the service health. Like, service health checks on, is your security fine? Is your storage resources fine? Yeah, that's how it categorizes them. So it's kind of like the same thing, but now status checks overall, like it gives you an overview of the whole thing, and service health checks the services under Azure and how they are. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yes, you are clear. So it has an aspect of cyber security.
Okay, so service health is more on like, is Azure okay? Like it just checks the overview. I can say it has a small aspect of cybersecurity though. Yeah, but it just checks the overall aspect, if it's good, if it's working. So more the one that's more on security, I can say it's Azure Advisor, because now it gives you certain recommendations on security, how to ensure your security is well in Azure. So I don't know if someone else has something to add on the question.
Do you think for the Azure Health, it's able to notify you or maybe update you on the status of your resource? For instance, if you've provisioned a resource and it's probably it has some issues in its configurations or something, it is able to tell you about the resource or the resources you've provisioned for Azure Health.
Oh, okay. So the question is if the service health can notify you maybe via email and something like that, if your Azure services are okay.
Not even that. You see, the way Azure Advisor, its function is to check on improving reliability, security, and performance. So now for Azure Service Health, it checks on the status of the resources. I just wanted you to agree with me or disagree on whether it checks specific aspects of the resources you've provisioned or the components in your Azure platform, and check things like their configuration and see whether they're well. That's what I think health in this contest means. So I don't
yes.
know. Like,
Okay, I've gotten your question. Yes, that is actually what service health is all about. That's the working of service health. But now advisor is
okay.
something. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted also to help the other person who was asked the question. Maybe we could
Oh,
think towards those lines.
okay. Thank you for the input. Does anyone else have something to add on?
Okay, I think the question the guy asked is relevant to what I was asking, but I think now I've got what he's saying. Like it has explained my point. Thank
Okay. Yes, that was a good question. So we'll proceed. Now we go to how to take our exams. But before that, let me see if we can go through the pricing of Azure. Like we use the links that we had shared, and now we check how we are going to be using them in the future.
Lillian, as you're opening the links, I don't know if I missed out on something because there's a time we had a glitch of power. So there for pricing calculator, I know there are two. There's one that's used for estimation, and there's another one that's used for comparison between your on-prem resources and if you decide to go to cloud. There's one that's used for comparison. So I've forgotten the name, but I don't know if it's one of the links that you're going to open, maybe.
Okay. Yes, we have the different types of estimation tools. Now we have the pricing calculator, and you
Yeah.
have the total cost of ownership.
So the total cost of ownership is the one that's used for comparison.
Total cost of ownership is used to check the resources, the specific resources that you would like to add. But now for total cost of ownership, it is used inside the portal now. Yes, you have to connect your account and now to check on the overall resources that you're using in your account. For comparisons, yes, I think you can save the pricing calculator is used to compare. Actually, yes, that's it, because when you use the pricing calculator, you can now change the various regions that you've selected. Maybe you have chosen Brazil, you've chosen South Africa. Yes, it's used for comparison.
So because when I was going through the learning path, there's one that I interacted with. It's unfortunately I can't open the notes now, which was saying it's like it enables you to see how much you'll be saving when you move from your on-prem resources to cloud. You provision your resources to the cloud. So I just wanted to be sure if it's the pricing calculator or the total cost of ownership, because
Okay. So have I provided the clarity that you required in the difference? Because now the total cost of ownership is you have your Azure resources, you have the portal, you have your account connected, but now it checks the overall resources you are using, the costs that it amounts. But now for the pricing calculator, you now compare the cost that you can use in the various resources and in the different regions. I don't know if I had your question well or if I've answered your question.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, you've answered my question. Thanks.
Okay, so let me share my screen and then we look at the links. Okay, so you can see my screen. So we have the pricing calculator. I think you can sign in for this, but I don't know if they don't think it's necessary. So let me say I want to add a storage account. So it has said add storage accounts added. Like once you add these things, it comes up to total the here below. You can see I added the storage accounts. So it has kept the blob storage, the storage services that Azure has. So now it gives me the overview that it will cost $52 per month if I have that storage account. And also the region now is where you can select the different regions. If maybe you want to look at the cheapest place to store your services in Azure, that's the best place to go. Let me say maybe I want the most expensive place I saw it was Brazil, so I'm checking on that. Yes, this one, Brazil South. So you can see it has increased to $81. So anytime you are trying to add resources to your Azure portal, make sure you check on the regions if you want to ensure your costs are not being used up a lot. Because you've seen previously it was $52 per month, but now it's $81. So that's the difference for pricing calculator. Like you just add to estimate and then it adds up and it adds the total cost. Yes. Okay. Let me check on the other one. The other one is the total cost of ownership. Now this one, I think it will require us to connect it to the Azure portal. You'll have to sign up and look at the workloads that you're using. Like you can see, define your workloads, and like it gives you the services that Azure has. And you can also select the region and stuff. Okay. The links, I don't know if all of us have the links that I've shared in the chat, but you can navigate through it using them. Okay, so I think we can proceed with the slides. So, Rich, if you can share the slides. Okay, so now our final part of the discussion, we are going to look through how we can register for the exams and how the exams are usually taken. So these are just key points to note when signing up for the exam, for registering or doing that. So like total time taken for the exam is about 65 minutes. So you'll be asked for your basic information, your name, your email, and other stuff. So that will like take an estimate of 10 minutes. And then the questions that you'll see in the exam, most of them, they are multiple choice questions. Some of them, they can be, like you'll be given a service to use. Like it's called, I don't remember the word for it, but I'll tell you once I get it. but you'll get multiple choice questions that you can answer each single answered or multiple answers. So you have. Okay, sorry for that. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So let's proceed. So when you submit the answers that you've selected in the exam, now you've completed the exam, you're set now. You can submit the answers and your results will be given immediately on submission. And then your certificate will be found in the Microsoft Learn profile. That's where you can find the certificate that you've acquired once you've passed the exam. And also, when registering for the exam, you'll be required to upload maybe your national ID if you are taking it online. Also, physically, you'll be required to have the same. You can be told to have your driver's license or the national ID. Any identification cards you have, you can use it. Yeah, I think that's it for the overview of how the exam will be. I'm also going to send links to revisit the questions we have. Maybe these are the links actually. So I'll also share the slides if you are planning to go through them again, or the links. Okay, so for skills measured in the AZ 900 exam, this is basically like how the percentage of questions that you will see in the exam. We've gone through storage, we've gone through security and other aspects in Azure, maybe the core architectural components, and now currently management and other things like compliance. So for this link that is skills measured, it will now give you these questions at 10% of the things set and other stuff. So for the sample questions, now this is the links I was talking about, where we'll see the past questions, the answers that you had to put in. This is good for revision. Let me share the link, and then you can go through the skills measured in the AZ 900 exam. Okay, so the link that I've shared is to check on the questions that are set, the percentage of questions maybe that will be set in security and other stuff like that. So you can see, let me just share the screen so that you can look through it together. Okay, so this is the site that will open once you click the link. You'll see the study guide. It's called Study Guide for Exam AZ 900. And these links, they are provided in the group, in the WhatsApp group. If you're in the WhatsApp group, you can access these links. So we have the overview, the way we've said, the timings and how to earn the certification. Like, it gives you the knowledge you require so that you can take your exam, and also the exam scoring, the score reports. Okay, so I want us to check on the skills that will be set. These are basically the parts that we've gone through. Like, you can see the describe cloud concept. This was part 1 of the Azure fundamentals that we had talked about. So we have like 25 to 30% of the exam will cover that. And for part 2, we have describe Azure architecture and services, which will be covered in the exam 35 to 40%. And also the Azure management and governance, which will be 30 to 35%. So they go to break down these parts, the content that we had covered, and this is going to help you to now revisit the content that you need to revisit when taking the exam. So make sure you take note of this so that you don't have issues. Maybe you go through a question, you're like, oh, I remember this. So just go through these things so that you don't have issues when taking the exam. I think that's it for this link. Yeah. Also, let me share the link to register for your exams. And if you have any question, you can share it so that once we move on, you can answer them. Okay, the link that I've currently shared is if you want now to apply for the exam, you've chosen Pearson VUE as your exam, maybe the place you'll take your exam. This link is on the information, whether you'll take it physically or online, how it is going to be conducted. So we can check on that link as I open the Microsoft Learn profile so that you can see how we can apply for the exam. Also for the vouchers, we are going to award them to the active participants and also the people who are active in the challenge. So you can also stay tuned for that. Yes. Okay. So let me share my screen now. So these are the student certifications that are offered by Microsoft. There are a lot of them. Some are in AI, some are in the cloud. So you can also look for that. So just taken me to portal, can check on the student hub. Now student certifications. So once you go to the portal, just go to the student hub and then student certifications. You can see the different certifications that are offered. So I want to check on the AZ900 exam. We can check on get started. So these are informations on student discounts. So currently, India and China, they don't have the student discounts offered. I don't know why, but that's it. So here they give you an overview of how you will take the certification, how you will connect your profile, and how you can now verify that you are a student. Don't worry if you've maybe connected your personal email to the Microsoft Learn account. Once you go to the certification and you check on the discount for students, it will ask you to verify that you are a student by providing a student email. So that's it for the certification. Yeah, that's when you select here in job title, when you select student, that's when they will ask you for the student email. So make sure you check on that. If you're a student, that will be a good opportunity for you to like earn your discounts instead of paying the whole amount. Yes, you can see the way they've stated there. This is how it will look like when you are verifying you're a student. You'll provide the student email address and then you'll re-enter it and then all that verification process. Yes, so that's it for if you want to verify if you're a student and that kind of thing. So I don't know if you have a question so far because we've discussed a lot. And yeah, you can air the question out.
How will someone be able to know if they have qualified for a voucher, the ones that you're awarding? And also, when are they expected to come in probably?
Okay, so how to know if you are qualified? We are going to update it in the WhatsApp group because we have the challenge ongoing. By there, you can share the link to your friends if they can participate. So we'll air out the people who have qualified for the vouchers, and you need to redeem the vouchers by 31st December. That's the latest time you have to redeem your voucher.
Okay, so after like you award the vouchers, the guys who have gotten the voucher, do they go through the same process of registering for an exam? The same way you go to Pearson View and everything? There's a different portal for them or different link?
Yes, you'll have to go through the same process so that you can know whether you'll take it physically or online. So the same process applies to those who have a voucher. I think you will be provided with a space if you have a voucher code. So you will put in the voucher code there, and then it will apply it to your application.
Okay.
Lillian, if you had to take the exam physically, what are the testing centers or something? Is it ADC or where?
Okay, so if you want to take them physically, there are Pearson View there are institutions, or yeah, there. I think I've heard of one in Nairobi. So you won't take them in ADC, but you'll take them in. You'll search up maybe in Google. You'll find the Pearson View locations in your current area that you can do the exam in. But I know currently there is one in Nairobi.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Reed, you can proceed.
Okay, just to add on how the exam is, most people prefer to do it online where you just sit with your computer or your phone, and the first thing they do is to check your surroundings so that you don't cheat in the exam. So they may ask you to move your camera around so that they see where you'll be sitting the exam. But most people prefer to do it online because of the nature. Like you find that maybe you don't want to go to the testing centers and you just prefer to do it online. So if it's online, they'll want to check the environment that you're in. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yes, another thing to add on is be very careful in the online exam. Make sure you don't open other tabs and stuff because they will monitor you while doing the exam. So once you you switch to another tab like more than 3 times or twice, they will be sent a notification on the other end because they are like kind of invigilators in the online exam. So once they get the notification, you can be disqualified for the exam. So check on that also while doing the online exam. I'm sending links to the sample exam. So as I'm doing so, you can also add on any other questions, or you can add on something that you've learned while doing a certification if you have one. Yes, so I've sent. Okay.
So
You can
when
proceed.
scheduling, thank you. When you're scheduling your exam, do you get to choose literally any day that will work for you, or you are restricted or limited in a way?
Or you can schedule anytime, any day, as long as you're within the time frame of the. Okay, if you have a voucher, you are within the time frame of the redemption of the voucher. So I've seen also they have like past midnight and other stuff. So it's not limited really.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
And another thing to maybe add on is that when you are sitting the exam, for you to get the certification, you must get above 70%. But I think they give you up to 3 chances where you can redo the exam. But to get the certification, please note it's 70% and above. And I don't think it's hard because I've seen most of the questions, if not all, are multiple choice. So you just select the answer.
For the 3 attempts, will I have to pay again? If I fail the first time, I want to attempt for the second time, will I have to pay again?
No, you don't have to pay again because it is you with Pearson View who okay, once you have the voucher, Pearson View will allow you to sit the exam
Sure.
a maximum of 3 times. That is if you fail and you feel that you will do more, you'll do better in the second attempt or even third.
Okay.
Okay, Joyce, I see your question. Will the challenge will be over on second? What is the expected date that someone must have done the exam? So the challenge is kind of a leeway to get you to sit for the exam, because if you get the voucher and you schedule the exam with Person View or Certiport, it is you and them to agree when you want to sit the exam, but the voucher must be redeemed by 31st December, because after 31st December it's going to be null, so you can't redeem it past that. So once you redeem the voucher, just schedule the exam. I think you will agree with them when you're free to sit the exam, then you can decide on when to do it. The Cloud Skills Challenge is different from the exam. It's just to get you to get the voucher. I hope your question is answered.
Okay. So and see they have responded yes. They want us to check on how to how to register for the exam. So this is my Microsoft Learn profile. And then when you search under your profile, you'll see credentials. So in credentials, there's certifications. And now you can check on the certifications and it will ask you if you don't have certifications, you can find a browse tab there. Now under this browse tab is where now you can check on. So for me, I'm going to check on AZ 900 and it will give me these two. So if you're looking for registering for the exam, you go to certification, ignore the exam one first. So go to certification and then it will give you the details there. The skills measured, basically what we've talked about. And now it will also give you content that you have to go through so that you can take the exam. These are the modules that we've gone through for the weeks that we've done the discussions. And now this is what I was talking about. So you have to, okay, can schedule with this Certiport or Pearson View. So me, I'm going to select Pearson View. Okay.
For the voucher, it's Pearson View, and if you want the discount, you go to the Certiport, right?
Oh, for the discount.
Yeah, student discount.
Okay. I'm not sure about that one, but I'll discuss it in the group. There is
okay.
a discount offered. Yes.
Ridge, maybe. If you
I think Okay, I've encountered both Pearson VUE and Certiport, but what I came across was that I think if you are scheduling the exam with Pearson VUE, they gave you an earlier deadline. But I think once you have the voucher, it's upon you to decide which
No,
one you want to.
what about if you like, for someone who wants to go the student discount way, you don't have the voucher, can you also, or it's a must for you to use Certiport? Because it's like, I'm saying student or employee, something like that for Certiport. In Pearson
No,
VUE.
I don't think you're limited to one of them. But if you come across, you come to a point where the only visible certifier you find is Pearson VUE, you just select Pearson VUE. But I don't think you're limited to work with only one of the two.
Okay. Nice. Thanks.
So I was opening the link and it was asking me for personal details. So I think I filled the form. So where we were at, once you fill in your information, this is setting up the certification profile. Once you selected schedule with Pearson VUE. So let me. Okay. So once I submit, it will take me to another. Okay. I'll send a link to this so that you can access how to set up your certification profile, because it will ask you your personal details and other information. So you have to check on this. So once I share the link, and if you encounter any issues, you can state it out in the group. Okay. So Rich, you can share the slides as we finalize. Okay. So basically, this is if you want to reach out for any questions, for any information that you need, yeah, you can find me on these platforms. I'll share the slides so that you can review the material that we've gone through and ask any questions that you have, any loopholes that you encountered while we were discussing. The link to applying for the exam, I'll send it to the group so that you can set up your certification profile, ensure everything is okay. Yes. For the challenge, you can aim to complete it also. It will help you in covering the content that you're going to use in the exam. I think that's it. Thank you for the patience for last week. It was a hectic time. Thank you for all those who are patient and for attending the previous sessions. You have been a nice group, and participation was good, and the questions that you're asking were very good. Like, yeah, you are a good group. Yes, but it doesn't end here. You can also reach out to your fellow peers that you've made friends in the group, or maybe you can reach out to me for any questions that you have. Yes, that's it for now. If you have any additional things you can say, any comment, I mean, yes, you can also add to that.
Okay, let me go first. So thank you, Lillian and Rich, for taking us through this content learning path, because really it's not easy when you're going through it alone. At times there are a lot of distractions, and when we get to have a group like this, we are able to, brainstorm and learn from each other. So it's a nice thing. So I don't know if you're taking another group or how does this work? Because for now, I guess we are done with the learning part, and I guess most of us here are going to sit for the certification, which is a really good thing. We've also had a chance to connect. Like I'm sure right now you're a connection to many of us. I know we even connect on LinkedIn, and it's a nice thing. Thank you, and I hope more doors open for you, because you and Rich as well, and any other person who has been contributing to this. Yeah, mine was just to appreciate your work, and everyone else for joining and making this happen. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Anthony, for the comment. Okay. So yes, for me, only that you've been a good group and all. Or for the study groups, how it was working is that we had people volunteering to lead the study groups. So we had like I think 20. So we had 20 groups. Each group had a leader. So that's how it was working. We also had a meeting, but the communication on the timing and all, it didn't go well. So yeah, apologies for that. But in the meeting, they discussed basically what we've gone through. Yes. I think,
Yeah.
yes,
So
especially,
will you be
yeah.
taking on another? Will you be taking on another group, like a different course? So let's say you're done with us, not done in that way, like we've completed our learning path. So are you taking on a fresh set of people who now want to start their path, or how does it go? Because as a student ambassador, do you come to a time where you've completed your task, taking people through the course content, learning together, and trying out things, and do you completely like leave, or you take on a fresh set of people now, taking them through the same process?
Okay, for the study group, it's more of like you volunteer yourself to do that. So I can, like, if anytime I decide to take up another study group, I'll inform you guys maybe through the group, or I can upload it maybe on LinkedIn. You can stay tuned for that. But it's usually volunteering. Okay, so I think that's it for our discussion today. The links, I've uploaded them here, but I'll re-upload them in the group. And make sure to make connections. Don't leave like that. Yes, you can make friends through this program, because we are going through the Azure Cloud Services. So you can find people with the same interests. Maybe they want to have maybe certain prototypes working and participating in hackathons. Yeah, you can stay tuned for that. Yes, thank you for joining and participating in the study group. For the challenge, you can share the link and also aim to complete the challenge. Thank you guys for joining. I think that's it on my side. I don't know if Rich has something to say.
It's just to thank you all for attending these sessions. I know since our first session, we've had quite a number of you be attending the sessions. And those who missed out, you can still recap. The videos are on YouTube. Just Lillian didn't tell you to follow her on YouTube, to subscribe. Is it Lillian Tech? Yes, so you can subscribe to her channel and stay put. I know she has good things coming up. And yes, I hope we all get the certifications. And in case you miss out, there is always a next time, because this was the second study group sessions we had as student ambassadors. The first one was in May, then we had this one in, I think, October or September. I'm not sure when it started, but Yeah, so I think there'll be one in January. So there are normally two that student ambassadors take. There is the Azure Fundamentals. There is also the Azure AI Fundamentals. But just stay put in LinkedIn. I'm sure if there'll be any, you'll get to know about them, and you can also try doing the exam when you're better prepared. But take advantage of the learning content. There is quite a lot you can learn from the platform that is Microsoft Learn. So yes, feel free to get there. I know we are getting to December where we will not be having school. You can get a skill from there, and yeah, it will help you somewhere. So that's it from my end. Nice to see you guys. I'm Rich Benson across the social media platforms. Twitter, Rich Benson, LinkedIn, Rich. Those two. I'm not in Instagram. I'm not in TikTok. Yeah, LinkedIn and Twitter, Rich Benson. Otherwise, guys, nice to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, I think that's it for the meeting. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah, we'll talk more in the group. You can leave at your own free will.